Right then, here we are again. It's been about 10 days, I think, 10, 11 days since I finished the other 2 runs that I had to do. And tomorrow they're coming to do the installation. So I thought I'd take this opportunity and just jump up here and just show you what I did before we get into it tomorrow. Right, it's a bit windy, so I do apologise for the sound. I have got the microphone on, but it's still a bit windy. Anyway, you can see here the first run that I did, all cemented in along the side there. Over here is the second run that I did. Again, all the tiles got lifted up and cemented underneath, properly locked in, and they're really solid now. There you can see just cemented in along the sides as well, just to make it absolutely rock solid. You know, you can see you can walk on them now without them smashing and cracking. So when they start drilling it tomorrow, it should be pretty solid. And then the last run is down here, start here. And again, you can see how I've cemented it all in. Whilst we're up here, you can see down there, they're the solar panels that have been delivered today, so we can check them out. You can also see some really weird patterns that I've been doing in the field there, as I've been doing a bit of rotavating, which is, I don't know why I've done that style, but looks nice all the same. There's the old Pasquale and the old solar panel setup. You can see all the new tiles. They're obviously all the ones that I basically broke, quite a few. The final run, this run here coming down here, look. I didn't break any, and that's because obviously I'm very close to the edge. I didn't have to put so much pressure on them, on the tiles either side. But obviously the middle run and the end run over there took a bit of a hit. And you can see down here my pile of broken tiles. I think we went through about, it was about 30 in the end, give or take. Got some spare as well, just so that when the guys come tomorrow, they're obviously going to walk over everything again, and we've got some spares just to replace any more that might get broken tomorrow. Right, let's check out what they've brought. So these are the panels they've brought. Just plug and play by the looks of it. You just plug and connect, which is good. They're quite long. It doesn't specify the length and stuff, but they're essentially 580 watts each one. Let's see if I can show you. Oh, there we go. Massive. Totally different to the old style as well. So 580 watts a panel. Now to put that into perspective, we'll check out the old setup. So here, we've got 4 panels, they're 180 watt each. So essentially, give or take, all 4 panels here is the equivalent to one of the new ones. And we've got 8 new ones in total. So, so we should have a ridiculous amount of electricity, which means we might actually be able to finally get rid of the LPG fridge and go and get a normal fridge, which is going to be a really nice early Christmas present for the family, in particular for my wife. Right, so in preparation of them coming tomorrow, we emptied out all the old stuff from in here. This is now empty. These are all the floor tiles we've moved out. The batteries are going to go in here, or a combination of. Then over here is the same, completely empty, and it's full of some of the new stuff. That cable connects the panels to the house, just a plug into the inverter, and that's why that's still there, but that'll obviously go tomorrow. And all the gubbins that was here, I've shifted over to where the solar panels are. So as you can see underneath here, just yesterday, we stacked up all the batteries, moved them all over here. 6 2-volt batteries, so a 12-volt system. We wired in the switch, and then the inverter, which we are getting currently 8 amps, and the battery's at 13, so it's still doing the job. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that's still pretty good. And then this here converts DC to AC, 1500 watt max, and then it just plugs into the house, which is that cable that I showed you a second ago. And there's the charger as well, so when the generator's on, it charges up the system. And this is just like this as a temporary fix, you know, from tomorrow we'll have the new stuff, so essentially this will be all null and void. We'll have to decide what we do with it, whether we try and sell it or whether we give it away to a family member in need. I'm sure we'll figure it out. But for now, it's just powering the house as it stands. And then tomorrow we get the new stuff. So that's it pretty much. We'll see what the morning brings. I'll come back to you then. Right, so it's been about 6 days now since they installed the panels, and the results are unbelievable. Haven't run the generator, got a fridge on, using the pump whenever we want, the dishwasher can work, the washing machine washing at 40. Honestly, ridiculous, game changing. Anyway, let's check out what they've done. So here we can see all the panels laid out in their glory, and the rail and stuff, and then the cabling going around the roof, then down to the batteries. Let's have a look underneath at the fixings. So the panels are just clamped on these rails that are installed. And each panel's got a little joining clip. There you can see one, there's another one, just for the spacing and stuff. 8 panels. And then down underneath, which is the work that we did, well I did should I say, in the end, they just used a mechanical fixing rather than epoxy or resin or whatever. And they just drilled it and just dropped a big roll plug down. And then obviously that floating bolt with again the clamp, you can see it's clamped on the rail there. And they just popped those all around the place. There's probably one just, you can kind of make them out there, look, and all the way back. But one of the best things about this setup now is how low profile it is. The wind can't really get up and lift it up. And then obviously from the road as you're driving to the house, they're a lot more low profile. You can't even really see them, as opposed to the other ones, which are up on a big 45-degree angle. So they produce loads of electricity and are very nice on the eye and are obviously well secured down. So that's pretty cool. And then in the end, they broke another, I think it was 20 or so tiles while they were walking around doing the job. So this is my pile of tiles that's left to basically throw out. Could have been worse, to be honest, but you know, we're done now, so it's never going to happen again, at least not for a while. Right, let's check out the battery setup. So the panels come down from the roof here to another little box where you can obviously turn the panels on and off, and these are 4 fuses as well, just in case there's any issues. So that's pretty cool. And then from here, it runs out down that pipe over to the batteries and the little room over there. Right then, so the batteries have ended up in here. 1, 2, 3, and then the big head unit. Can't quite see the sticker, so I can't quite see the size, but it'll pop up along the bottom somewhere in a second when I get a chance to check it out. And then obviously it comes to the inverter, and then we move to this side. So yeah, we've got the smart solar charge controller there. We've got the solar panels coming in and the batteries going out. It says that there. This is the inverter and the charger, which obviously charges the batteries, does all the converting, and then obviously produces the power for the house as well. And then you've just got a couple of circuit breakers there and a couple of fuses, just in case there's obviously any issues, they'll drop down. Pretty complete setup, to be honest. It took them about, well, they arrived at 8 and they left at 3, which is pretty cool. And the last thing is we've got this plug here, which if that plug there in the wall is exclusively from the generator. So whenever the generator's on, that's providing power. So if we plug that in when the generator's on, then the generator charges up the unit, which is pretty cool. Right, we'll lock this up. Right, there we go. Perfect. So that's pretty much it, wrapped up. Last thing we've got to do is the old panels. We've actually given them away to my wife's cousin. He's got a rustic plot as well, but like properly rustic. He hasn't got any electricity at all or a generator or anything. So in the end, we've decided to give the solar panels to him and the batteries and stuff. And obviously it'll be up to him to do whatever. In fact, I think I hear the car coming. Come on. Right then, folks, we're all done pretty much. There they go, look. Wave goodbye. Hey. Until next time.